Today's video, we are going to talk about long tail keyword PPC. How to get long tail keywords to work, like, do I have to fear the IRS if I don't pay my taxes? Or how to fix a broken septic tank? Or even could be stuff like, how much does a drain unclogging cost? All of these terms are just as profitable if you know what you're doing as targeting drain unclogging service or back tax filing service as these other terms are. But where most people go wrong is they just don't know the formula to actually get these to work and monetize them. And that's exactly what I'm talking about in today's video. And then, because obviously for long tail keywords, sometimes what I call the buying keywords are also long tail. That is, it could be like nail salons in Manchester, Connecticut. That technically is a long tail keyword too, but that's not mainly what I'm talking about in this video. In that particular case, you just go after it just like you would for nail salons by itself. So there isn't much to do there other than just know the longer the keyword, the more likely it is to convert, and then therefore the more you should be able to pay for a click from that keyword. And what you'll generally notice is the cost per click is more expensive the longer the term is, assuming it's still relevant to what you do, because it converts at a higher rate, which means more people want to go after it and they're bidding higher for that keyword, given it is a bidding system that Google has. But if you do what I'm talking about here and you don't just go after the obvious terms where people are looking to buy right now, which you should also do and basically do first, okay? Certainly. But it's so competitive that you'll get some decent money going for that way, but you're throwing away the other half or more of your money if you don't go after these other terms where people are clearly looking for a solution like you provide, but you're not going after that action. And nobody else in your market's going after that action, leaving it wide open to you if you just know what you're doing to pick up that action. It's tricky because you have to take somebody who ain't necessarily looking to buy, but with the system here, which I'm going to show you, which is having an actual what looks like a news article that you're directing them to, that you set up, you could take somebody's information that they're looking for and directly turn it into business. And do so within like a 60-second time period. This is something that what affiliate marketers do to make money, but the companies themselves, like you run, don't also do this as well, which, because they just don't simply know about it or it's too tricky or whatever, but anybody can do this, to take general people that are looking for a solution in your market and then just sell them on your exact solution through this method. So with that said, getting into the content here, you can make your terms like, do I have to fear the IRS if I don't pay tax, if you're running a tax filing service, or how to fix a broken septic tank if you have a septic tank product or service. If you don't, you can make these work too if you don't send them to your standard landing page like everybody else is going to try to do to make these terms work. They'll try to send them to a page that says, if they're typing in how to fix a broken septic tank, what they'll do, have an ad that says septic tank fixing service. And they'll direct them to a page that's all it's being offered on the page. That's not what they're looking for. You cannot treat Google like a billboard and expect it to work. Okay? Why? Because Google has a quality score system. The rate in which you get your ad clicked depends or determines how much you're paying for a click. And you can only pay so much for a click before those clicks are not profitable anymore. So with Google search ads, you're stuck with basically just either giving them what they want or what they came to Google for in the first place, or you don't do it at all. And so therefore, you're kind of stuck going after the stuff that, the part of the market where they're looking to buy already, but there's more of it available that they aren't looking to buy yet, but they're soon going to be buying from somebody. You could just get them if you just were in front of them with a more, we'll just say, enticing pitch. That the pitch is actually information. So you could generally make 2 to 10 times more money in your market by using content marketing sending people to what I call just a contrived article. It's an article that you're going to make that's not going to look like you made it, to educate that user as to why they should buy your product or service, okay? And this is profitable because Google is a bidding system and people aren't going to be bidding on these other terms where people are looking for a solution like yours. Instead of paying $2 a click or $20 a click, or let's just say hypothetically, if a click in your market costs $20 on Google search for people looking to buy now, you a lot of times can get people to, where you're getting them for $2 a click. It's 10 times less per click because nobody's going after these terms. Nobody's trying to monetize these extra clicks. So I'm going to give you some examples of how we did this in the past for other markets. Most of the time, in order to get these other terms to work, this is the method that you got to do it, that you got to use. And that method is if somebody is looking for, and you have let's say you have a clinic that offers knee treatment, okay? What you do, instead of just targeting, which you should do this as well, but instead of targeting people looking for knee treatment doctors, knee treatment clinics, what you should just target is the keyword knee treatment or knee bursitis treatment, stuff like this, where they're looking for information about how to fix their problem. A lot of these people will go on to hiring a doctor anyway, and a lot of them may not, but they just don't know that hiring a doctor is really going to help them. So what do? You target these keywords and you say, new knee treatment does not require surgery. Groundbreaking research shows knee treatment does not need surgery anymore, blah, blah, blah. That's essentially what's on your ad. Then what you do from there, user clicks on the ad, you send them to a dedicated page that is on a secondary site that you set up that looks like a news site, so you can have what looks like a news article that you're sending them to. Why? Because if an article is on your site and it looks like it's your information, people are going to trust it. They're just going to click out. They're going to leave. They think if it's somebody else putting information out there that's supposedly impartial, they're going to take advantage of it. So therefore, what you do is you set up a separate site. You make it look like a news site. For the most part, you don't even need to do that. You could just have a secondary website where you just have one article posted there. And if somebody clicks the home page or clicks the logo to go to the home page, it could just say site under construction. So you don't even have to have a whole site there, but it still gives the effect of looking like you have a news site. And then, so basically, so that you have this site that looks like it's a news site, and they're really looking at an article within a news site, okay? The domain name that you have the site on could be like, Calgary local news, if you're like in Calgary and looking for local Calgary customers or patients or whatever. And this article should just be like going and following through with that ad saying new knee treatments new knee treatment system does not require knee surgery to get a cure of your knee problem. You go to the article, and that's essentially what you say on the title of the article. And the article starts out essentially by saying, knee problems are difficult and have been for years. They don't go away on their own. However, and most people have been having to use surgery to have any kind of hope of fixing their knee problem. However, there's a new technology process, whatever, out that can fix your knee problem without having to have surgery. And then you go into a little bit what it is, and then you go into some links to scientific research papers that back what you're saying. And then if you can, link to or quote a few influencers that have talked about this. So it's not just the article talking about this. And then you state, where's the best place to get this type of treatment? Then you link to your website, service page, and then you have a lead. Or what we sometimes do is we have it to where you can click a button and you have a pop-up form within that article, as cheesy as that is, and get leads that way, and that'll work better. Depending on what market it is, we'll do different things. But you get the general idea. If they're looking for a knee treatment instead of a knee treatment clinic, and you have a knee treatment clinic, you explain the fix for their knee problem is this new technology or this new process, which you'll explain what that is on a news article. If they click on that ad, the article explains what it is. That's the flow you're going to copy there, and you're going to generate people now that know the problem. The answer to all their problems is essentially this other company's service. So I call these pages basically like a pre-landing page. It warms up traffic and essentially gets people understanding what's the relevancy of your service specifically. And it works great because once they've read that article, they don't think they can go anywhere else. It's only you they're going with. And by the time they get through that article and get to your site, they're going to convert it like 30% because they're already sold on the service. So while it might cost some money to get people to read the article that'll never click through, if people do click through the article to your site, they're going to convert it at a super high rate. So realistically, if you could pay 10 times less per click than you're paying now for people that are ready to buy already, by going after these long tail keywords, you'll still make a lot of money because roughly, respectively, you'll get 30-40% of people who click through your link because they're there for that information and they're interested in it. And then of that, 1 out of 3 or 4 gets to your site and will convert. And so your cost per acquisition for a customer there is similar to what you would have got through your other ads that only go after people that are ready to do business right away. And in fact, can be more profitable because, like I said, once they've already turned into a lead through this article method, they're not looking to go get other quotes and all this other crap. Whereas on Google search, where they're looking to buy from somebody, they all often are. So we did that for a knee treatment clinic and still using it to this day and works really well. We also did this for a septic repair product where it's more profitable ROI-wise and especially volume-wise, going after, instead of people looking for a septic repair product, people typing in how to fix an overflowing septic tank and then hitting them with an ad that says that and then sending them to an article that talks about how to fix it and then plugging the product at the end of the article. That's another market where we did extremely well. We're making most of our money from those articles, not the people looking for a product. Because the people looking for a product is limited. You're only going to get so much of it and then you're done. If you want 2 to 10 times more out of Google search ads for your market, you go after these question seekers or answer seekers. We did it for a hot tub cleaning product. Instead of going after people that are looking for hot tub cleaning products, we're looking for people that are typing in how to clean hot tub and then sending them to an article the same way. We did this for a tax relief company that helps people file their back taxes and negotiate with the IRS, one of those services. And in the situation where people are looking for information about do I have to fear the IRS if I haven't paid my taxes and that kind of thing, in that case, you could send them to a service page and maybe get a few to convert. You're going to get 10 times more to convert by sending them to an article that talks about that. Actually, the IRS doesn't usually go after people too often, but if they do, it's a major, major problem. But it doesn't have to be so much of a problem because there's this new way of dealing with it, so on and so forth. In this situation, we tweaked the strategy. So instead of just saying, here's a service that will fix your back tax problems and then sending them to an article, we just answered the question for the user. Article talks about how likely you are to have a problem with the IRS if you haven't paid your taxes in 2023. And then send them an article, but then by the end of the article, we start talking about how this isn't even an issue anyway because you can negotiate with the IRS and you could pay 20% of what you owe, and then you don't have a problem at all. And then plugging a specific service that does this, then generating leads that way. So it gives you a different kind of way that this can be done, but you get the general idea. If people are looking for information about how to fix a problem that your product or service fixes, you can either explain that there's a new solution out there and send them to an article and explain that to them, or you can answer their question, and then once you've captured their attention, you can now plug your product because you've got their full attention, you've got their trust. Because they found the plug of that product on a news article, they're going to believe what they're seeing. So, like I said earlier in the video, affiliate marketers that get paid for sending traffic to businesses when they make a sale, and a lot of times people will give 10% of the cost of the sale of the product or service for sending traffic to their site that allowed them to get that sale. Those affiliate marketers, all they're doing is exactly what I just told you here. There's people making hella money doing this. They either do this for the most part, or they'll put together like these phony baloney review sites that are like, where somebody's typing in best earphones. They'll have a site that says best earphones reviewed. And then of course, all the products on that page are all sites that they're doing affiliate marketing for and that they get a cut of the sale. Or one or two, and then the rest of them aren't ranked rated very well. You get my point. So what they're doing is they're basically doing the dirty work of the company. So instead of having the company have to go out there and put these phony baloney review sites up, the affiliate marketer does it, and then they just pay the affiliate marketer to do their dirty work. It's like hiring a hitman, basically. I don't know what to necessarily think about that per se, but for these people, to put an article together that looks like a news article, yes, it's kind of obviously sketchy to do that in and itself, but I just look at it as if they were not going to buy your product and they were going to buy your product from somebody else and they're going to get ripped off there, to send them to what something looks like a news article in order to capture their attention and get the right information, I don't see that as crossing the line. And unfortunately, that's what works, because if you send them to, like I said, a page on your site, they're just going to immediately have their guard up and they're not going to believe what you're saying. It's just like how people don't believe salespeople. They don't believe what the salespeople are saying. They'll believe what an engineer says about the product. So a lot of times you're just forced to reframe your message in a way that people are going to want to listen to it and believe in it. That's just how it is. But anybody can use this method. Anybody can put together a news article and advertise that news article on Google search for people looking for information on how to fix a problem that the product or service solves. In some cases, obviously, there's not a lot of potential for this depending on how big the problem is. If you're talking about a problem like you're selling brooms, it's going to be a little bit hard to use this method because people don't do a lot of research before they buy a broom. In that case, you just run an ad and you show the damn broom, and this isn't going to be a lot of help to you. But the bigger the decision we're talking about, in effect, the bigger the product price or the service price is of what you're selling, the higher the price of whatever you're selling is, the longer it's going to take for them to decide to buy from you and your market, and the more research they're going to do. And the more research they do, the more potential this has, because they're going to be asking more questions on Google. And you can set up articles so you're just there no matter what question they ask, leading up to and trying to decide if they need what you have and who to buy it from. Essentially, you're there. This isn't about who to buy it from, because you would have a review site effectively for that, but for them to know how they should deal with their problem, you're just there every time, and you send them to an article that talks about it. So, and with that, I don't recommend that at all the same exact article for every possible question they could ask. You want the headline of the article to match what's on the ad, and what's on the ad should match what they're searching. So like with the knee treatment doctor that we were talking about, where we use this technique, if they type in knee bursitis treatment solutions or options on Google, we want our ad to say knee bursitis treatment without surgery to get them to the article, okay? Furthermore, we want the article headline to be knee bursitis treatment without surgery, ? So you get how this all lines up. Why? Because this makes it easy for people to know they're at the right place and it's what they want and need. So if later on, if for somebody else, if they're typing in knee spur treatment, our ad's going to say knee spur treatment without surgery ? And then the headline on the landing page is going to say the same thing. Knee spur treatment without surgery ? Obviously we're not lying to people here. We're just not trying to get lazy here and use one landing page for everybody because it's easier to do, easier to manage, because it's not going to convert at probably half the rate as if we legitimately tweaked and made a slightly different headline on our landing page for each type of problem that we're fixing for people effectively. So you just go to Google Keyword Tool, you start typing in stuff, and you just see what people are searching about. Write them all down, make yourself a little article, make yourself a little ad, set up your conversion tracking, see how many people that click on your ad are clicking through your article. And then of that, how many people are clicking through the article, they're getting your site and then converting. The worst case scenario, it doesn't convert well enough, and you just don't advertise on that keyword. There'll be some keywords that'll certainly work if you just understand how to structure the article. If the headline repeats basically back to the user what the ad advertised, then you start explaining how you reconfirm to the user the problem that they have and it's frustrating, and that there's alternatives, and that then you go into how other people are effectively backing up what that solution is in terms of the science behind it, i.e. sending them to link to other scientific research studies, and then also influencers that also say that it works, and then you pitch the product. They already understand what you're saying is accurate, and then they're ready to go buy it. It's really that simple to do. And I gave you some different markets here where this is working. If you want real examples of this working, you could reach out to my firm at guaranteeppc.com, and I'll send you a link to a real article so you can study it. I don't want to out my clients' campaigns on this channel because obviously they don't want to do it. But if it's on a one-on-one individual basis, I'm happy with showing you an example because that's not a big deal to show a landing page that we're using. You're just not going to advertise it to hunt, thousands of people here. And that in and itself will show you the same formula and how you can replicate this for yourself, even though you could tweak this strategy certainly to get more out of it than what I'm going to provide you by default. But for the most part, if you just follow this formula here, it'll work. And you go with either you starting in and you start with talking about how you don't have to worry about the problem or issue you think you have, but you can solve it through this product or service if you wanted to, or you start by talking about how there is a product or service that does solve the problem right away in the article like I was talking about. In the IRS, the back tax niche, we found it worked better to say that they don't have to worry, but then you can use this service and really take care of it anyway if you want to, versus with the rest of them, with the knee treatment, septic repair product, hot tub cleaning product. It was initially just starting out with explaining that there's a new product out there that fixes this issue, and here's why, and blah, blah, blah. So this could work though for like really boring services. If you were just, instead of us having a septic repair product, we had a septic repair service. We're not doing anything extraordinary. If somebody's searching for how to fix septic tank cheaply, we could advertise and say, new septic tank fixing strategy lowers cost of fixing your septic tank by 80%. And then you could click that and get them to the article and explain how there's different techniques that make it much cheaper than it normally needs to cost to get a septic tank fixed. And here's the one local place in Cincinnati that uses this new technique. So you have to apply a unique angle to it. Otherwise, there's no reason for them to go to your site and convert there. You can't say, oh, this is just one of many. You want to say there's certainly others doing it, yes, but here's one really, one notable person in the local area or what have you that does it, and then send them there. Try to come up with an interesting angle. People want to save money or they want better results. So in the septic tank situation, you could say also, if somebody's looking for how to fix my septic tank, you could say extremely effective septic tank fixing option available to Americans. And you could try to draw the click that way, send them to the article, and then, of course, explain how, if you are going to do this, the new best way that technology has found to fix your septic tank is XYZ, and here is one company owner that we interviewed that says that they have it, and of course, if you want to buy it from them too, you can go here, you can click on this link. So there's some different kind of ways that you can do this, but bottom line, like I was trying to mention a second ago, you could do this for really boring services if you want. It can be pool installation services. It could be a dental service. You just got to think of what can you do that would make it sound interesting, valuable, and unique, and then focus on that. If you draw a parallel from, if you watch that show Mad Men, what did they do on Mad Men to try to sell cigarettes? The Lucky Strike brand, they said that the cigarettes were toasted. Well, all the other cigarette brands offer toasted cigarettes too, but people don't necessarily know that. So you could say something all your competitors have, but if it sounds interesting, you can use that to get people's attention and want to buy from you anyway and make it sound exclusive. As long as it sounds fancy, you could say it's better. Who's to say it actually is better? You could be vague and say it's much better, but what does that mean? You could just be very vague, and because you have XYZ thing, it's not unique, and then really you've just set yourself apart without actually having to do anything different necessarily, even though I recommend you actually have something that's different or whatnot. But you get what I'm generally talking about. If there's people looking for how to fix a solution that your product or service fixes, you can find some way to make what you sell sound unique so that you could take that interest that's already on Google on a regular basis, tap into it, and direct them to your site so that if it is possible to get them to buy from somebody, that they're buying from you ultimately. That's what this method does here in a nutshell, and what I'm advertising to you here and what we use all the time. So go ahead and target on Google search all the people ready to buy today. If you use the techniques on this channel to get higher click-through rates and higher conversion rates than your competition that are at the top of Google advertising now, you'll win that game. Once you make money there, you can reinvest that money back into going after the people looking for information on how to fix a problem that your product or service fixes, and do the work necessary to come up with some article landers, as I kind of also call them, and start tapping into the market that way. If there's so much market share that you can get, like let's say you have a local business where you sell brick pavers, where bricks for different walkways and stuff. That's all you do. There's only so many people that are going to be wanting to buy that out of your local market that you're in on a monthly basis. You're not going to convince somebody who never wanted to do that to do it. I'll say very easily or practically, to take an average guy on the street and convince him to do that to his sidewalk. It's going to be really difficult and probably not profitable. However, there's a lot of people who are thinking about it that are perfectly good, and you're able to get profitable yourself. And with that, there's only so many people that are thinking about buying from your market on an ongoing basis. So rather than advertising on like Facebook and trying to have an ad that says, this is a really cool service we offer, which is dumb, because even if you get people to respond, they're not going to be that committed to the solution. Getting people to where they're searching for how to pave with pavers a walkway in my backyard, the DIY person, convince them how, if you're going to do this, there's a special brick that is new, that is much better, much higher quality, and then that needs to be installed a certain way, but you'll get much better results, and then pitch your company as the one company locally that does it. And a lot of people will just go with you, even though they weren't even going to consider going with you before. And a lot of people that search that way, by the way, are just simply looking that when they do go hire somebody, that they know what they need to get from that contractor when they hire them. So out of all the stuff that you can do, practically speaking, going after people on Google search that are looking for information is like the second best thing you can do. Of course, you could target people with banner ads online in that kind of type of situation if they've been to your competitor's site before or searched for the service you offer on Google. You could have banner ads show up for them across the web as they're on the internet browsing and doing different stuff. And we do that type of stuff too. But that in itself is not nearly as profitable as just going after the person who's looking for information on how to fix the problem that your product or service fixes and sending them to an article like I'm talking about here. It's the second best thing you can essentially do, second most profitable thing you can do in a niche market like that, that's super niche and that people don't just go and buy on a whim, if you will. And for products and services out there that people don't know that are aware, it's everything essentially, because with so few people seeking it out, you got to find a way to sell it anyway. The best way to do that is just when people are looking for how to fix that problem that your product or service fixes, to show up there and sending them to the article that I talked about as well. So anyway, with that said, I'll wrap it up with that. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. It made a lot of sense. If you liked the video, I'd appreciate it if you would give it a like on the way out and consider subscribing, as we have a ton of other content. Got a ton of other content on this channel about how to make money with ads. So this is just the start of it. If you want to make millions of dollars with ads in your business, this is the channel that you want to pay attention to, as it comes straight from the source on somebody who just does ad strategy all day long. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm an ad strategist that runs an ad firm. So therefore, you should subscribe. And furthermore, if you like my channel, you can find my blog at guaranteedppc.com/blog, as well as my column at entrepreneur.com, which is also very good. If you are looking for an ad manager to just take over your stuff and get you results on autopilot, you should reach out to me at my firm at guaranteedppc.com. I'd be more than happy to see if we can work together. I do not charge our clients fees at all before we are able to get you the increase in sales results that we promised you up front. There's no catch other than we got to know we can get great results for your firm. And so with that, if you want to see if we can work together, you should reach out. Furthermore, though, if you don't want to work with an agency per se, but you want great results, if we worked in your market already, you should reach out to us and see if what we could do for you in terms of what results we've got in your market, and then we could sell you our ad templates that work for your market already. Ads, landing pages, campaigns. We have people actually taking these templates and running side businesses with it, selling leads, whatever, starting e-commerce businesses that they never started before, which if you're going to start a business, and start with the winning ad template for that market. It's the easiest way to start a business. But anyway, just letting you know how well these templates work in and itself, or in and themselves. With that said, you can reach out to me at guaranteedppc.com and I'll tell you what results we got in your market if we've got results in your market before. With that said, a couple other things real quick. If you are looking for management services, management of your ads, we are looking for volunteers that'll let us work on your stuff and share your results on this channel in exchange for free services. So, of which we normally charge thousands of dollars for. If you're interested in that, you can also reach out to us at our firm as well at guaranteedppc.com. And so with that, if you're interested in that, you can also reach out. But with that said, I'll actually wrap it up, I think, just with that. If you have any questions about anything I covered here today, leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a comment on this channel, usually within a couple days. You can add me any ad-related question you'd like. I'd be happy to try to answer that question for you, and the best that I can, so to say. But I will wrap it up with that. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you on my next video where we have another great strategy for you then. See you later.